Go ahead and get started. This is the third primary election forum by the Cheyenne League of Women Voters for this 2018 election season. We've done two legislative forums, and tonight we're doing the three wards of the Cheyenne City Council. Just to let you know that we will be doing two forums in August at the Laramie County Fair at the fairgrounds. Which it will be at the Frontier Park, just clarify that. And so on August 6th, we will be doing all the contested county races, so it'll be a really full evening then. And then on August 9th, we'll be doing the two state races that seem to be in the shadow of the gubernatorial races, but they're still nonetheless very important for the state, which is state auditor and state treasurer. And so that you know that Charter Communications is recording all of these forums that are happening here in the City Council chambers. They are posting them on YouTube, and we have the links available on our Facebook page. If you don't do Facebook, email us at CheyenneLWV@gmail.com, and we'll send you those links. And they're also going to be broadcasting them on their public access channel 192. So we hope there's lots of opportunities for the public to hear the candidates, get information that they need to vote, and we hope to have some differences raised tonight so that people can make a good choice. Early voting has already started. You can go to the county courthouse atrium and vote Monday through Friday up until the day before the actual primary, which is August 21st. You can also vote by mail. You ask the county clerk for a paper ballot. You can get all kinds of information from the county clerk's website, where and how to register and how to vote. And they can tell you which ward you live in. Just give them their address, and they can help you out. Their website has that information. And they have sample ballots, too. So go to the county clerk's website or call them. They're very helpful with all that information. Let's see. The general election is November 6th. So we will be doing, once the primary is over, we'll be looking at who gets advanced to the general election, and we'll be having more forums after that. League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization open to all that works to help people get involved in their government, to be informed, and to vote. We hope these forums help provide some information, but we urge people to check out the candidates' materials, websites, etc., and contact them if you have other questions. My name is Marguerite Herman, and I'm the moderator for tonight, longtime member of the League. Wyoming LWV has written a list of 5 principles of campaign integrity. We hope they help voters evaluate candidates and their campaigns. We also have a brochure of just helping people look at candidates and campaigns sort of a critical way and evaluate them as well. Those materials are on the table out in the hallway if you'd like one of those. And then as little background. So, as you know, Cheyenne has 3 wards. There are 3 seats in each ward. In 2018, there is one of those 3 seats is up for election. In 2 years, the remaining 2 seats will be up for election, so they stagger those terms. The term is for 4 years. It's a nonpartisan seat, nonpartisan election, which means people run without, they're not seeking the nomination of a party, so they're not representing a political party, which is why you don't see a D or R or anything else on the name cards up there. The way you'll see it on the ballot is that you will have all the candidates on your ballot for where you live in your ward. You vote for one person, but the top 2 vote getters will advance to the general election. So that's how that'll work. Wards 1 and 2 have the incumbents running for re-election. Ward 3, which is up here right now, the incumbent is not running for election, so it's a completely open seat. And we have 7 people who are on the ballot. We have 6 here tonight, and we'll be introducing those. There's Michelle Aldrich, Georgia Broyles, Eric Crosby, Ken Escabel, Jason Quick,
Jackson.
Jackson Quick. I'm sorry. the sign is correct. And Joe Sjogren, and the person who is not here tonight is Ashley Nowlin. And but so you'll see all of their names on the ballot. We will start with brief introductions. Everyone has a chance to sort of introduce themselves to the voters. And then we'll go into the questions. We have a timer here who can tell you when the countdown, when you're getting to the end of your time. She'll just hold up a sign there. And when we get into the questions, to let you know, you'll have an extra optional 15 seconds if you want to take it to add to your own response or comment on what someone else has said. And just to let you know that the only question the candidates were given ahead of time was about 3 issues, pressing issues facing the city and their response to it. So a minute and a half is a short amount of time, but we figured people had the time to prepare an answer, think about it ahead of time. So we hope that's ample to at least cover the basics when you answer those questions. And we will stagger the beginning person answering these questions so everybody has a chance to be first and last. And we will start with Ms. Aldrich, and if you want a minute and a half as your opening statement.
Sure. Well, I'm Dr. Michelle Aldrich, and I am I actually came to Cheyenne in 1969 when my parents moved here. I grew up here. I married a Cheyenne native, and we've been married 38 years, and we'll celebrate 41 years together in September. And we left Cheyenne for 20 years. We had the opportunity to live in communities, Fort Collins, Lusk, Rawlins, and Laramie. So I not only bring the experience of having lived in Cheyenne most of my life, but leaving for 20 years and coming back with some new and fresh ideas of how things might be done in other communities that we might want to adopt here or not adopt here, depending upon the success in those other communities. And I just am anxious and excited about the opportunity to serve a community that we love and that we came back to by choice, not by chance. So we're glad to be here in Cheyenne, and I would love to represent the people in Ward 3.
Thank you. Ms. Broyles.
Thank you. As I begin, I want to acknowledge those who have suffered the tremendous loss in the recent hailstorm. I observed the heart of Cheyenne beating for one another all throughout Ward 3 in the past couple of days. And I want to acknowledge you and let you know that we're thinking about you and all the struggles that you've been going through. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for providing the opportunity for us to be able to come together and share our vision to serve the citizens of Cheyenne. I'm Georgia Broyles. My husband David and I have been married for 27 years. And we have 2 sons that have both left home recently. Both of them are married. I've worked in Laramie County School District, number 1, as a school social worker for 23 years, and currently serve as a volunteer for the Cheyenne Police Department as a chaplain. My master's degree is in social work, and my bachelor's degree is in elementary education. Social work brings a unique perspective to the governing body, and after serving for 10 years, I was able to realize that I could bring something unique and different, and thoroughly appreciated that opportunity. I did not run in the last election and took those 3 years off, and I really miss it a lot. I miss the community, working with people from all types of different areas, different professions. It's an exciting place to be. Cheyenne is the best kept secret. So I want to run again and continue to serve you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Crosby.
Hi, my name is Eric Crosby. I've been here since November of 1993. I originally was in the downtown area, eventually moved down south of the I-80, and currently I'm living in Sun Valley area. Been there since 2003. I've enjoyed living in Cheyenne. I've seen good things that have happened in Cheyenne. I've seen some kind of false starts that have happened in Cheyenne. I have worked from the outside trying to meet with city council members. I've sent emails to city council members. I have reached out by coming to city council meetings to express areas that I think that they should focus on and areas that they should not focus on. And I've found a great deal of resistance to any changes or even considering a difference of opinion. So not being able to work from the outside, I've decided to work from the inside. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Escabel.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters. I've always enjoyed your forums, and I'm born and raised right here in Cheyenne. I grew up about 8 blocks from here over on 22nd Street and went to grade school probably just 2 blocks away from here. It's where the St. Mary's High School is now. There was an old elementary school there called Corlett. I went to elementary there. I went to McCormick Junior High, which is about 4 blocks from here, and then back then St. Mary's High School, which is about 6 blocks from here. So my roots are pretty deep right here in this neighborhood and this community. I served for 10 years in the Wyoming State Legislature. I served on the Labor, Health, and Social Services Committee for 4 years, Revenue for 4 years. Then went to the Judiciary Committee for my last 2 years. I also served on the Select Committee on School Finance and School Construction. And I've worked for the Union Pacific Railroad now for 39 years. I will retire next year and have wanted to be able to come back home to where my roots are and be able to give back in public service to the city and the state that I love so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Quick.
Hi, it's actually Dr. Quick, if you want to use the formal. I'm Jackson Quick. I moved here about 20 years ago with nothing, really, nothing more than what fit in my old pickup truck. And I had a studio apartment downtown, and I worked physical labor. I put myself, I built a life for myself here. I put myself through nursing school, working full-time. And then while working full-time and commuting over to Laramie and while raising a family, I earned my Doctor of Pharmacy degree from the University of Wyoming and graduated in the top 10% of my class. I'm a family man with a wife, two elementary school kids. I currently work as a pharmacist at a local independent pharmacy. I'm also a service-connected disabled veteran, and I'm also an officer in a local church. It's an old-fashioned King James Bible teaching church. But my relationship, though, however, with my God and my Savior is my own, and it belongs to me. And I can only hope to set the best example that I can, and others can choose to follow whatever path they want to. And also, many of you may also know me from the news stories in 2014 and 2016, as I've been forced to defend myself with a firearm against armed robbers at my place of employment. Whoever thought that going to pharmacy school meant you needed to know how to defend yourself. But I guess that it does, especially in this day and age. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sjogren.
Hello, my name is Joe Sjogren. I've been here for about 8 years. I'm a high voltage lineman for High West Energy. I love my job. I have the best job in the world. I got to serve the community every day. I have 2 beautiful daughters. Very proud of them. My oldest one's training for LSTAT or getting ready to take her LSTAT. My youngest one's at Johnson Junior High. They're amazing. If you guys take only one thing away from me tonight, just remember I'm the best fisherman in the world. Okay? The best. I love fishing. I love the outdoors. I love volunteering. I logged more than 1,500 hours in the last 3 years, each year, and I'd like to kind of devote that to Cheyenne's government. I believe Cheyenne needs attention. I believe I'm just the person for the job. I'm a fiscal conservative. I believe do the job right once instead of do the job wrong 10 times. Doing the job wrong just expedites expenses. We need to get away from that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we'll start with the questions, and we'll start with Ms. Broyles, and this is the kind of expansive question about 3 urgent issues or 3 important issues facing the city and your approach to them. So you have a minute and a half.
Thank you. The most pressing issues for the city of Cheyenne is a shortage of financial resources to meet the basic infrastructure maintenance and public safety needs and those associated with growth in the population and annexations. Based on the capital improvement plan for the city of Cheyenne, there are $281 million, a little bit more than that, of unfunded projects which would benefit the residents of our great city. Prioritizing these projects amongst community members and staff members, multiple stakeholders, as well as 10 members of the governing body is undoubtedly a challenge, as there's always competing interests. This is the job of those elected to represent their constituents in the process. It takes 6 votes to get anything accomplished. And it's often imperative to set aside your own personal interests or agendas for the betterment of the community. I'm not saying go along to get along, but rather I am saying that leaders must also be team players in order to get anything accomplished. This leadership should be obvious to the public eye. Number 2 is public safety, additional police officers, building fire station number 5, and updates to station 3, and others. That was number 2. Number 3 is economic and diversified development in all parts of the city, including downtown. We need to continue to pay attention to the state of Wyoming and look at some of the ideas and things that they have as well with NDOW and diversifying our economy and also reaching young people. Technology is very important to bring more to our city. Increasing internet access and speed will be a critical component. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Crosby.
Thank you. The top priority that I have, and I've met with this with a lot of the people I've talked with, is we need more businesses in here, and the rules and regulations and the issues that the current business owners that I've talked to have expressed, it's a very long, very complicated, very difficult and expensive process in order to start a new business here. It's a very difficult process to keep a business here, and many of the businesses got blindsided a year in or 2 years into their things with unexpected tax bills and my most important thing is let's simplify this whole thing, get it all written out, get it all simplified, publish it, and make everybody follow it. Second thing, we need to support our first responders, our policemen, our firemen, make sure they have the equipment they need, make sure they have the manpower they need, make sure there's enough fire stations around, make sure there's enough that's completely supported. Third, let's focus on improving and fixing the roads, making sure that you can get from point A to point B without rattling the bolts out of your cars. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Escabel.
Thank you for the question. I've always had a basic philosophy about governing that it's for the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens, and I always have tried to stay within that triangle. With that comes budgeting and revenue, and obviously you can't spend more than what you're taking in. As I had mentioned earlier, my experience with working on state budgets and my experience with working on revenue, I think I could be a great advocate for the city of Cheyenne to try and deal with some of the issues that were mentioned earlier that municipalities are having with the things that are happening at the state level. So in order to take care of a lot of the projects that are mentioned earlier, the city's going to have to not just piecemeal their revenue problems together. It's going to be a much bigger picture. It's going to take someone serving on the council that has the vision and the innovation and will be able to hit the ground running. So probably health, welfare, and safety.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Quick.
Yes, I actually think that a couple of my answers probably overlap a couple of the other questions, but that's okay. One of the biggest things that I hear from the citizens of Cheyenne that I've talked to is that our kids need more things to do. And most of the things that are being done to or increased activities for our kids are summertime activities. And let's face it, here in Cheyenne we only get about 2 months of that, and the rest is off and on winter for 10 months or 9. So I would really like to explore more opportunities for kids. Also downtown, I think parking is a huge issue. I have an idea that people don't want to walk, even though we have all these parking garages, people don't want to walk from there to downtown to go do their stuff and then walk back. And then we need to stop the hemorrhage of the money. We need to